Melissa here from Becoming Memories, and I have a fun little video for you today. I'm kind of excited about this. I have been using this Heidi Swapp Color Shine for quite some time now, as I imagine most of you have, or a lot of you have, and sadly it is getting very hard to find and is no longer available. So I recently ordered this Vibez Glorious Day from Shimmerz, and I've been told that this is a good substitute, or at least an acceptable substitute for the Heidi Swapp Color Shine. So you'll notice this is a completely clean sprayer. I have not even sprayed it once. It literally just came in the mail today. So I thought it would be fun to do a side-by-side comparison and show you what they're like on the paper. I'm going to use a stencil, I'm going to do some spatters, and then just a direct spray. And then just because we can, I've been really into black spatters lately, and I've been using this Tattered Angels spray called Coal. It's one of their baseboard sprays, and this is pretty old. I've had this for I don't know how long, a long time. And it's down to about here. It's almost gone. So I ordered Night Moves from Colorings, and the colorings are not shimmery. They're not sparkly. They're flat. There we go. Matte. That's the word I was looking for. Flat, yes. So I thought I would repeat the little test with these two and just give you an idea what they look like. And but we'll start with the gold. Because we all love gold, right? And gold is such a hot trend today. All right, so right away, one of the first things I noticed is my Color Shine always takes a very long time to get all of the gold off of the bottom. It looks like it's mostly mixed in now, but it settles a lot and it takes a lot of shaking. This Shimmerz, like I said, it just came in the mail today, so it was sitting in my mailbox for a while and hasn't really been messed with. I mean, when I first pulled it out, there was some powder caked on the bottom, but it overall is mixing together much easier than the Color Shine. So I do like that. So let's see. I'm going to start out with just a direct spray. Hopefully okay. So you can see that doesn't even really have a ton of color. It has a lot of shimmer, but not a lot of color. Oop. And I was holding it wrong. Okay. So right away, I can tell you this is very shimmery, but it is a more, it's a darker gold. However, I kind of like it. I recently did a layout where I tried to paint some cut files with Color Shine to make them gold, and it just would not show up. But I think that this Vibez actually would. So I'm kind of digging that as a spray. I'll move it around here a little bit so you can see the shimmer, and I'll come back and show you this in a few minutes after it's dried a little bit. Okay, so let's do some stenciling. I like to spray mist through stencils, and so I always like to, it's kind of one of my tests of how I like a mist, is how it does with a stencil. So I'm just gonna take a piece of paper that I've already been messing around with, cover this flower. Okay, it's a very direct spray. The nozzle sprays like more of a stream than a mist, if that makes any sense. So I did just dab it off there so that it wouldn't soak through the stencil while I'm working on the other side. Okay, so let's spray the Heidi. The Heidi has already settled on the bottom, and this has not, so I'm kind of impressed with that. Okay, I'm going to spray it a little heavier so that we can really get a good coating to compare. By the way, if you do like to spray mists on stencils, that dabbing right away seems to be a very important factor in keeping it from just totally sinking right like underneath and around your stencil. Oh, well, okay, my stencil wasn't clean. That happens sometimes. Okay, so you can see how, maybe, hopefully you can see this. This is definitely darker gold, but it sprayed pretty much, it did kind of bleed through a little bit over here. But I think that that's because this is a more direct spray. In fact, let me try something here. I'm gonna pull in another, let's see, let me find a place on my stencil that's clean. I'm not always as good about cleaning my stencils as I should be. Let's do this here. I'm gonna use this as a shield. And see if I spray from a little further away and then dab, just like I did the gold. I mean the Heidi Shine, they're both gold. Oh yeah, okay. So there you can see, that was definitely my problem, was I held it too close. So this sprays through the stencil just as nicely as the Color Shine. Actually, I feel like I've gotten a little bit more definition with my lines than I did with the Color Shine, but you do have to back up a little bit with the sprayer to get that. Okay, so let's look, our last test, let's do some spatters. Alright, so this is what I mostly do with my Color Shine. Okay, Color Shine on that side. Vibes on this side. Interesting. Having a little harder time getting, there we go, some bigger droplets. Okay, I'm gonna dry this and I'll come right back and show you how they dry. Okay, so this is what we've got. Now, keep in mind, I did kind of dry this pretty quick and I force dried it, but I'm really impressed actually. I think this one here from the Color Shine bubbled because I held the heat gun too close. But let me see how close I can get this. Hopefully it's focusing. They're very similar. Very, very similar. In this context, they are almost equally deep in color. I would say just about equal in shimmer. And this is the Color Shine over here, and this is the Vibes. So what do you think? Let me know if you've tried these two mists and what you thought. This one as a spray, this is the Color Shine again here, is definitely lighter, a little more iridescent. This one is gold. But what's really interesting to me is how as a droplet, the shine is just about as, it's just as dark in color as the Shimmerz Vibez. Whereas when it's sprayed directly, the Color Shine is definitely a lighter coverage. So here to show you on the stencil, yeah, this way. This is the Color Shine. This is the Vibez. Hopefully you can see. So again, when I did this one, excuse the red from my stencil that wasn't quite clean, but this one did bleed through a little bit and the color is darker, but this is when I held the nozzle much closer, the sprayer. But when I backed up, I got a very similar, almost identical stencil. So, all right, let's do the black really quick, because I feel like black is another color that can be hard to find. And not a lot of companies make a black mist. but I do a lot of boy pages, and so I do use black quite a bit. All right, so this is called Night Moves, and again, this is a matte finish, not a shimmery. Okay, so that was the colorings. I think my sprayer might be clogged on this one, but we're gonna, oh. It has always, this Tattered Angels mist has always sprayed in a crescent shaped pattern. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry for about just a hot second here. Let's do some spatters. Okay, the Tattered Angels. One thing I do notice that I really do like is that they have this curved sprayer in here. And what that means is that when this goes in here, the sprayer is going to actually reach into the corner of the bottle to pull the color out. Which means, here, let me close this before I spill it on something. First of all, it means that you're gonna get all the way down to the bottom of the bottle. But it also means that when you spray, your sprayer in these Tattered Angels ones is right here in the middle. And you see how this bottle kind of slopes down to the bottom? That means that your sprayer is not going to pick up what's at the very bottom of the bottle. Anything that settles down here around the edges is not going to get picked up by the sprayer. And when your bottle gets low, you're not going to be able to get the last quarter inch or so out of your bottle because the sprayer doesn't actually go all the way down to the bottom. Whereas in these, the sprayer, here it is right here, you can see it actually kind of curves along the bottom of the bottle and goes into this channel, and that's where your spray is coming from, which means that any medium that you have that has settled here in the bottom is going to get picked up by your sprayer, and you're going to get the richest color possible, plus you're going to get every last drop out of this bottle. So, all right, so here are the spatters, and I'm gonna need to get a little more adept at how to spray with these sprayers. How to spatter. There we go, that was better. But I'm not seeing an ink, a ring, or any issues with any of these. Let me dry them real quick, and then we'll double check. Okay, so a couple observations here. One, the Tattered Angels took a lot longer to dry. Two, the Shimmerz it did bleed slightly out of the edges of the spatter. See, can you see that? However, that is more than likely because of the heat gun, and I would imagine if I had let that just sit and dry, it would be perfectly round. You'll notice that all these smaller ones that I didn't really hit with the heat gun didn't do that. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this. I would say I like this one a little bit better just because the droplets are round. For whatever reason on this Tattered Angels when they're perfectly round. But I will be happy to have this one for sure when this one runs out. And as for the spray, okay, so as for the spray, the Tattered Angels one is definitely a more saturated black. This one, other than right in the middle of the spray, does kind of fade into gray. You can see that. This does not. However, the sprayer works way better on this one. I will be interested to see. I'm going to post a picture here in a little bit that I will take tomorrow and show you what these look like after they've sat overnight to kind of just give you my final conclusions on this black. So on the golds, I would say it's pretty definitive. I'm actually really happy with this one as a replacement for the Color Shine. Very similar, just a little bit of a learning curve in terms of how to use the Vibez to make it look just like the Color Shine, but very doable. Okay, so here are the pictures of the next day. And at the end of the day, I think I actually prefer the shimmers over the color shine, which surprises me because I do love my color shine. But and as far as the black goes, I'm kind of on the fence. I like the way the Tattered Angels dries, but the sprayer never works, and that's super annoying. So I'm looking forward to giving the shimmers a shot. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you'll like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what your favorite mists are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.